government could not have been clearer. They do not intend to use the services of Nigel Farage, the interim UKIP leader, as some sort of go-between for the government in terms of its relations with the new president-elect Donald Trump. He joins me now. And how do you react to that?
Well, if we were a business and we were looking at Trump and America as somebody we wanted to put together a mutually beneficial relationship with, the first thing you'd do is to find somebody who had connections. And yet, the world we live in and the way politics is run in this country, basically there's almost nobody that's ever worked in business or understands really how the world works. You know, Trump is a businessman. He will have learned over a 50-year career probably not to trust very many people. But if he does trust somebody, that's an asset. I can't do anything about this. All I've said is informally, in any way, I would like to help. I really believe that the relationship between the US and the UK is important. I think our potential here for a trade deal is very high. I think doing that is good for jobs in this country, but also strengthens our negotiating hand in Brussels. And I think if that's the way they wish to play it, to be absolutely honest with you, I don't think it's very grown up.
Did anyone in government say directly or indirectly to you, you know what, there might be a role for Nigel Farage?
No.
So this was your idea?
Well, look, I went to New York to meet Trump's team, some of whom I've known for many years, to say congratulations, well done. I didn't really expect to get a chance to meet the president-elect because he is, after all, rather busy, but I did, and that's led to this sea of speculation. I just repeat, if I can be of any use, any help in the national interest, I would do so.
And where we are now, there are suggestions that if Mr. Trump wants to run ideas past the British government, get a sense of where Britain is, he's more likely to contact you. Is that right?
I don't really buy into that, I have to say. No, I mean, look, you know, clearly, once he is the president, then there have to be formal lines of contact. That, of course, doesn't include me. I just think in the building of this relationship, I could be helpful. And don't forget, there are lots of people in this government, both in the cabinet and senior civil servants, who said some pretty rude things about Mr. Trump and his campaign.
And has he forgiven and forgotten, or how does he view those politicians, those remarks?
He was very gracious. You know, when I met him, he was very gracious. He talked about the telephone call he'd had with the Prime Minister. I think a lot of him just wants to move on. But remember, it's not just the President that does this. There is a team around him as well. There are, I think, some fences that could do with mending.
How, or are you convinced that we've heard from Boris Johnson in particular saying he thinks Donald Trump would be a good thing, a positive thing? Do you think ministers have had some sort of conversion about Donald Trump given what they previously said?
No, they're career politicians. They say one thing and then conveniently forget they've said it and move on to a different tack. It sort of sums up the political world, really.
Let me just ask you one other thing which is in the news today, is this Brexit memo, which the Times has obtained, suggesting there is no Brexit plan. What do you make of that? Well,
there was no Brexit plan because I think the previous government thought that Brexit had no chance of winning, therefore there was no reason to put Plan B into place. So, yeah, in many ways, Theresa May's government is starting with a blank sheet of paper. I would just say this. There are two ways you can look at it. You can say, gosh, look at all these things we've got to do. What a burden. Or you can say, we're about to take back control over every sector of our lives. What a fantastic opportunity to do things better.
OK, Nigel Farage, thanks very much for your time with the UKIP leader there, saying that he was ready to do whatever he could to build relations with Donald Trump. But as you heard, Downing Street.
We will make America great again.